Hello, have you ever fancied going to see drag racing? We've got a fantastic star prize tonight, a pair of tickets to participate in a public track day in your own car at the famous Santa Pod Raceway drag strip. But no matter how well these three do, we'll be sending them home with prizes galore either way, because we've got T-shirts from GrandPrixLegends.com, family passes to events at Octagon circuits around the country, VHS tapes from blackstar.co.uk, Mitsubishi cab briefcases, and I'm going to have to take a breath here. This fabulous acupressure tyre gauge sent to us by the International Tool Company. Better get on with it. So let's just recap. The cars we're going to show are genuinely for sale, and we ask our contestants to guess what the asking price is. There's a point for the person whose guess is the closest. That becomes 2 points if they're within 50 quid. We give 3 points for a direct hit, and if two people make the same guess, well, they both get the same points. So with us tonight, Matthew, business student, Matt, media student, and Jonty, the man who teaches them, Salford University technician and lecturer. Jonty, thanks for joining us tonight. Right. On with the game. And our first round with Brendan, who's been down to the used car showroom.
There are two ways of looking at this car. You either think that it shows that Suzuki were well ahead of their time by making a soft-roader way before they were de rigueur, or you think that it was a pathetic attempt at a serious off-roader made by people who should stick to making bikes. Whichever way you looked at it, this is a fairly tidy N-Reg 3-door Vitara. It's not lavishly equipped and not hugely practical, with a slightly less than cavernous boot. But that's not why you'd buy a Vitara. You'd buy one because you think it makes you look young and trendy. But how much would you have to pay to be down with the kids? What is the asking price?
There you go. Young and trendy Jeep. Start writing. What do you think it's worth? Think about it. It's an N-Reg Suzuki Vitara, 45,000 miles it's done. Quite easy to sell. Lots of ladies like to be seen driving around in them, so the dealership shouldn't have any trouble getting rid of it. Nice colour as well, soft top, trendy in the summer. OK, all thinking about it? Time's up. So, Matthew, a Suzuki Jeep, your sort of image?
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly?
At the right price.
Well, what would be the right price?
Less than what I've said. Considerably.
Yes, what have you said?
I've said 8,000.
8,000 quid for that car. Matt, what do you think it's worth?
Pretty close to Matt. I've got 7,500.
7,500. You're both very rich students. And finally, Jonty, what do you think that Jeep's
In the real world, 4,850, Chris.
In the real world, 4,850. Let's go back to the real world and see what the Jeep is worth.
This very uncool Suzuki Vitara will cost you a very cool £6,995.
There you go, £6,995. Why did he say it was uncool? I don't know. Matt, you were the closest, £7,500. Give you a point for that. Of course, those Suzuki Jeeps are hire cars in Cyprus. I was there last year and you can beat them to death. Let's try another. This time we're looking at supercars with Glenda.
Now this is the kind of car to be chauffeured around in. Strictly wealthy socialites only. You can really glide around in style in this, the Mercedes S500L. Rear seat passengers get pampered with all the luxuries you'd expect from such a prestigious car, including fully electrically adjustable seats with built-in heating, cooling and massaging facilities. And those all-important vanity mirrors let you check your appearance before throwing a party back here. After all, there's enough room. You might not be interested in the performance, but your chauffeur will be able to whisk you from 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds and up to a limited 155 miles an hour. So how much will this luxurious taxi set you back? What is the asking price?
There you go, start writing and thinking about it. What is the asking price? That's the top of the line Mercedes S-Class, the 500. Beautiful car, rave reviews from the press, from my colleagues who think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Immensely comfortable, wonderful ride quality, holds the road, unlike the old barge of the previous S-Classes. A real driver's car. So, Matt, you're a top executive. Do you want to be smoothing along in that Mercedes?
I prefer convertible, to be honest. But
You're picky. How much do you value it at?
55,000.
£55,000. Jonty, what's your price?
42,999.
42,999. Very precise. You wouldn't go the extra quid for
No,
43,000.
no, definitely
stick
not,
to that.
no.
Fine. And Matthew,
Well, it's top model, 5 litre, so I'd go for about 60,000.
would you indeed?
Yeah.
Right. Let's go and see what the Mercedes is worth.
Arriving at the premiere in style will cost you £60,000.
There you go, 60,000 quid, smack on the nose. You get 3 points for that. Very well done. Supercar as well. That 500 is absolutely fabulous. Our third round is with Lynn. My favourite round, we're featuring classic cars. Have a look at this.
When William Lyons wanted a name for his new line of cars, he began sorting through lists of animals' names. He wanted one that represented sleek, smooth and fast. One fast, sexy feline stood out from the rest. Lynn Rogers, I hear you say. No, it was, of course, the Jaguar. Let me introduce you to the world's favourite 60s icon. No, not George Best. It's the E-Type Jag Series 1 fixed head coupe from 1965. It's a silver two-door with the long body and short deck typical of a 60s sports car. It's clocked up 7,000 miles and it's got a 4.2 litre engine, which really is the cat's whiskers. Meow. This early model was considered to be the prettiest of all the E-Types because the headlamps are fared in over the quarter bumpers, i.e. they follow the shape of the car line, therefore giving a more streamlined, less cluttered feel. Perfect. So Chris, any owner that buys this car is going to be like the cat that's got the cream. So, how much?
There you go. Start writing, start thinking. How much? Beautiful E-Type there. It's called the Series 1.5, in fact, because it's got the 4.2 litre engine and not the 3.8, which is slightly more desirable, but still supercar. I suspect 7,000 miles since the total rebuild. And bear in mind, very practical car now. You can buy everything for it. Jonty, sort of car you want to arrive at Salford University in?
Yes, please. Lovely.
Yes, please.
Yes.
So how much would you have to spend to do that?
125 grand.
125,000 smackaroos.
If I had it, I would pay it.
You would pay it?
Yep.
Get down there, yes. OK, Matthew, what do you think it's worth?
I'm not too good on classic cars, but I'd say around £28,000.
You're not too good on it, but you'd say around 28,000.
If I had to.
If you had to. And Matt, how do you value that car?
I'd say about 20 grand.
About 20 grand. OK, let's go and see what the E-Type was worth.
So, how much for the big cat? £30,000. But you ain't having it, because it's mine. All right?
£30,000. Matthew, you're closest. Well done. Give you the point for that. Let's see how the scores stand so far. So, Jonty, I'm sorry about this. You have yet to score. You've been very close, but I think 125,000 quid for the Jag was
I'd still pay it.
It's a bit over the top. Never mind. Matt with 1 point and Matthew in the lead with 4 points. Quatre points. Now, on to our quickfire round. We'll be revealing pictures of cars slowly and you have to buzz when you think you can guess within £1,000 of the car's list price. Points go down as the time moves on. You only get one chance each to guess. Here comes the first car. There it is. Buzz when you tell me. Matthew.
It's a 3 Series BMW, sorry.
Yeah.
And I think it's around 20,000.
Around £20,000. You're out. So it's between Matt and Jonty. What is it and what's it worth?
It's
Jonty?
It's a Mercedes,
Is it? Yes.
I think, and I reckon it's about 28 grand.
So down to you, really, Matt. What do you think this car is and what is it worth?
It's BM, I think.
Yeah.
25 grand, why not?
You're all out. It's the 318 Ti compact hatchback, the cheapo of the range, £17,835. Let's look at the next car. As soon as you know, give me a buzz. 5 points on offer, 4 points on offer. Matthew.
It's a Lexus 4x4, and I imagine it's around 30 grand.
Not close enough. It's down to Matt and Jonty. Matt?
A Lexus again, and I'd say it's probably 24 grand.
No. And Jonty, it's all down to you. What do you think that car is and what it's worth?
I think it's a Lexus, and I can't remember what prices they said, but I'm going to say 26.
None of you put enough money down, 32,550. Let's have a look at another car then. 5 points on offer. Matthew thinks he knows.
Seat Ibiza Cupra R, and I imagine it's around 14 grand.
Ooh, just out. And down to Matt and Jonty then. 4 points on offer. Jonty?
It's me. I'll say 15 grand for the Seat.
And you're out. Matt, it's all down to you. What is it? What it's worth?
It's a Seat, and it's 12,999.
It's the Seat Ibiza Cupra 1.8 Turbo. It's 12,995. So very well done. OK. Here's a fun one to keep you guessing over the break. We've got a side panel from a 2001 Jordan Formula One car. It's got the logos and the Monza specification wing deflectors on it. What, I ask you, is the asking price? So, welcome back. And what did you guess for that Jordan side pod? It's actually worth £450. Matthew, what do you say it was worth?
About 20,000.
About 20,000, slightly out there. Never mind, on with the game now, and we're going down for our auction round.
We've been to the auction again to see what we can find. Remember, in this round, we're looking for the price that the car went under the hammer for, the auction selling price. And here's one you'd expect to hold its value, given that the Golfs are known for long-term reliability. It's a Golf driver, so the spec levels are higher and it looks really clean. It's done 100,000 miles and was registered in August 1991, which puts it on a J plate. Being a driver, it's got racy spotlights at the front, and although we had a really close look at it, there wasn't much we could find wrong at all. But if we're going to get picky, there are rust spots and a few paint chips. What do you think this went for?
There you go. Nice little Golf. Down the auction. Start writing, start thinking about it. It's J-Reg. It's done 100,000 miles. It's more than 10 years old. The trade might quite like it because they think they can sell it on, but it's not going to be worth a huge amount of money, especially with rusty wheels like that. But dead reliable and solid car. Matthew, nice Golf there. What do you think the dealers bid for it?
I'd normally say more than this, but it's an auction, so I'd go for about £900.
About 900 quid. Yeah. Matthew, you're down the auction. What are you going to put your finger up at?
I've got a grand. So.
A grand?
Yeah.
And Jonty, what do you think it's worth?
Probably miles out, but I'm going for 1,700.
1,700 quid. All right, let's go back down into the ring and see what the car went for.
Hold on, those at 660, you'll find it in the receipt there for cheap. 660, once, twice. Hold on, 660, provisional fee. Thank you, have a bag, okay?
There you go, the hammer fell at £660. So that just goes to show that you really can pick up a bargain at the auctions if you're careful, and if you notice very carefully in that filmed report on the screen of the car it said "as seen," which is always very dangerous. OK, well done. Matthew, you're closest. Give you a point. Over to Lynn now for our private sellers round.
Wow, what have we here then? It's a Golf VR 6.5 door. Wow, these are dead fast. 2.8 litre engine. Hey, Big Dave's going to be well chuffed with me. Hey, they're really sought after. These are really hard to get your hands on, unless your name's Roger the Dodger. No way, it's been around the block a few times. 75,000 miles on the clock, can you believe it? But it's in pretty good nick for an R-Reg. I reckon I'll easily shift it. Big Dave's gonna be well chuffed. Think I might just take it for a spin first. I don't get it, I'm not having much luck. It looks dead easy on the telly. Must have a pretty good security system on it. I'm gonna have to come back later and have a crack at it. I wonder how much I'm gonna get for it.
You're not going to get a lot in acting school. OK, start writing. Think about that. That's from one Golf to another. We're going to the extremes of golf there. So this Golf is the top of the range, 2.8-litre VR6. Don't be misled by that P plate. That's a personalised reg. It's actually an R-registered car, and that's what it'll be sold at. And a private owner who obviously thinks it's wonderful might be charging top price. Matt, absolutely top of the range Golf VR6. How do you value it?
I've got 8,000.
£8,000. Jonty, what do you think?
4450.
You didn't think a lot of it then?
No.
Why not?
I don't drive cars. I ride motorbikes.
You prefer motorbikes. We must have a talk about that afterwards. Fine. Matthew, how do you value that car?
I've gone for 6,500.
But you're into cars like that, aren't you? You think that...
Yeah.
What about a VR6?
Yeah. I'm not sure whether that's too low or too high. It's got a lot of miles on the clock, but it's also got a good security system, apparently.
Any security system resists a wooden coat hanger. Let's go back to Lynn, see what the car fetched.
Oh, no! Would you Adam and Eve it? The owners have only gone and shifted it. Oh, Big Dave's gonna kill me. He said we would have got at least 8 grand for it. 8 grand! I'm gutted!
She's gutted. OK, 8 grand. Well done, Matt. Smacked it right on the nose there. 3 points to you. Very well done. And a final chance to reverse the order. Our second quickfire round. The points go down as more information is revealed. Fingers on the buzzers. Here comes the first picture. Tell me what it is. Oh, very swift there. Matthew.
It's either an A4 or an A2 from Audi, and it's hard to say because there's a bit of a difference.
Well, exactly.
I'll go
Make
with
a
instinct
guess.
to say A2 and go for about 8 grand.
Hard luck. You're out. Matt and Jonty. Matt.
A2. I'd say 10 grand.
You're out. Jonty.
I'll say 14 grand.
Nobody's quite enough. That's the A2 1.4 TDI SE for £16,055. Let's look at the next car. Oh, Jonty?
No idea. But I had
why
to
not have
try.
a go?
I had
Hell,
to
you
try.
know.
I think it's a Metro.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say 8.5 grand.
A Metro, they
Yes.
no longer make.
Do they not?
8.5 grand. OK,
Right.
I'm afraid you're out. So
Excellent.
it's Matthew and Matt. What is it? 3 points on offer.
Is
Matt.
it a Vauxhall? I don't know. Let's say 7,995.
And it's all down to you. What's the car and what's it worth? Ah!
It's a Mercedes ML. I imagine it's around 22,000.
Yeah, right car, ML320, wrong price, £31,640. Let's have a look at one more. Isn't it fun? What is it? It's another one of those pesky 4x4s.
It's a Mitsubishi Shogun something or other, and I'd say 11 grand.
Not enough. So you're out. Before I could even speak, Jonty has swept in.
It's a Mitsubishi 22,000.
And you're out.
Nah.
So, Matthew, it's down to you. What is it? What's it worth?
Well, it's a Shogun, I think. I'm not too
Yes.
good on stuff like this. And I imagine it's around 15,000.
Well, a bit closer, but still won't give you any points. Mitsubishi Shogun pin-in, that's the cheap one, £12,495. Let's see how that affects the final score. And they stand like this. Jonty, a valiant effort. Deeply impressed by your hugely expensive Metro, but no points. Nil point. Matthew, a very creditable 5 points. And Matt, you're the winner with 7 points, which means that Matt is through to our final payoff round. But before we do that, I need to give out the prizes we have for everyone. We've got those briefcases, the tyre pressure gauge, the 3 family passes to go and watch car events, the T-shirts, the VHS tapes. Is there any end to our generosity? So, Matt, you're through to our final payoff round. We're going to show you one more car. Now, if you can get within £2,000 either side of that car's asking price, well, you win the VIP tickets to addition to what you've got already. So, let's have a look at that last car.
Now, pay attention, Mr. Goffey, and all of your assorted spectre of villains.
Yes, that was a bad attempt at Q. I'm more XL. Yes, this car is the archetypal Bond car. We all remember it from the late 70s film The Spy Who Loved Me. It's a Lotus Esprit V8 Turbo. You know, a few people had a few problems with things in that film. Nothing to do with the fact that the car could go underwater. It was the fact that Roger Moore was still pulling women at the age of 63. Yes, inside, I'm afraid this car is showing signs of its age, as I'm sure you're aware. The odd bit of cosmetic surgery, both in here and under the bonnet, hasn't altered the fact that this car is the best part of 20-odd years old. But as a result, it's quite desirable because you get a lot more for your money. It is the V8, as I've said. It's an R registered from 1998, and it's got 20,000 miles on the clock. Anyway, what do you reckon? What's the asking price?
There you go. What's the asking price? You can confer, start writing, thinking about it. Lotus Esprit V8 Turbo, immensely powerful. Lotus, you know what it stands for. Lots of trouble, usually serious. Don't take any notice of that. Great car, still worth lots of money. So put your price down. Thinking about it, taking advice from your compatriots. Time's up. Matt, tell me what that car's worth.
We reckon between us about £30,000.
About £30,000. Let's go and see.
Now, this car is evidence, if it were needed, that you can take the car out of the 70s, but you can't take the 70s out of the car. I'm afraid it's stuck in a time warp. And what's more, it's got Leo Sayer on the CD. But it represents brilliant value for money because the car is unfashionable. You can get this supercar with supercar performance for as little as £29,995.
£29,995, you're spot on. £30,000 your guess, you win the major prize. Very well done. Here's another one for you at home. Put these three cars into their correct order of value. We've got the BMW X5, the Mitsubishi Shogun Pinion and the Mercedes S320. Answers on the website. See you next time.
Hiya, Chucky Egg. Have you come to see the car? Would you like a cup of tea first? No? OK, let's crack on then.
Anyway, let's have a look inside. I'm afraid it's still stuck in the 70s, this car, and it's still locked.